Hey guys, and welcome back. It is Eileo, and today we'll talk about a little bit of World Boss and what's going on here. This was requested quite a while ago. I want to say a couple weeks ago by one of the good boys. But I'll just leave your post in the video because I don't want to butcher any names. But let's go ahead and get right into it. So World Boss has been out for what, roughly a month right now, and it pops up every 6, 7, 8, 9 days. And I mean, there's not a ton of information on it. Somebody might have already covered it. I'm not saying this is the first guide ever, but essentially what you do with World Boss is take all of your mons. It doesn't matter if they are it doesn't matter what they are. It doesn't matter if they're a healer, a defense aggressor. You can have freaking, I don't know, the world's best Snowy if you want. You can have the world's best Slime if you want. You can still bring them in here as long as their gems really are as best as they can be. Now, what does it mean by gems being the best that they can be? It looks like mons that have high stats all across the board. So even like a defense aggressor like Light Nike seems to do a lot better than my Dark Merlin at the moment, because my Dark Merlin just has garbage, just bad resist. So, and I mean, one of my Light Nikes just has a lot more crit on her, a lot more resist, a lot more everything compared to Merlin. So I do believe it stems from the gems. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on it. Don't take me to court over this. But that's just from my observations here. But I figured I would at least show what's going on, even though people have already done it. And to those, especially the lower level guys, do I recommend you guys doing it? Yes and no. If you have the extra energy to expend and it's not taking away from you farming golems or you furthering your progression in the game, feel free to stop by and do it. I mean, we can do 3 battles every day for 3 days, and then like a week later he comes back around. But I would recommend you doing it at least once you hit mid game. Definitely not as soon as you start though, because we do get rewards depending on what our damage is. And I mean, 500 is not a lot, but if you come over here to the shop, you know, you can get a gleam almost every other week with it, depending on how frequent he comes up. The light and dark eggs isn't worth it in my opinion. Skill book could be worth it if you're trying to get some skill books for your Nat 5, but don't quote me on that. We got the super gleam selection, which is predominantly the reason for doing World Boss in the first place, and the super holy gleam. The super holy gleam is why I'm doing it and why I'm actually stoked for World Boss when it comes around, because I want to Evo 3 my Shadow. I would love to Evo 3 Silver in the future as well, but my main goal right now is to Evo 3 my Shadow, and I am what, 1400, 7. I'm nearly a third of the way there. Nearly a third of the way there. Hopefully after this I will be a third of the way there, and I'll have an Evo 3 Shadow, I don't know, middle of next year. So that's the predominant uses of doing World Boss, which there's honestly no downside to it. It doesn't take that long. There's no downside to it. I mean, I'm not going to be ever be this high, but as long as I can get Evo 3 Shadow and Evo 3 Silver for my Astro Guide and just to use Shadow, I don't freaking care. Alright, through the lovely power of video editing, I'm back to this screen because at first I hit it too quickly, so I went to battle already, so I couldn't really talk about this screen here. So this screen is just the screen of all of our units that we have up here. This is slightly random and slightly not. I did try to pick out as many of the mons that I know are at least decently gemmed up. Not all of these guys are decently gemmed up, unfortunately, but we do know that variants do more damage, and mainly though, mons that are, of course, I believe Evo 3, which predominantly should be your Nat 3s and your Nat 4s, and if you've been playing for a while, Nat 5s, who obviously have the best base stats of all, will get the best benefit from the gems. So ideally speaking, for World Boss, you would want to run it with as many Nat 5s at Evo 3 as possible that are basically decked out with gems, which means for whatever type that they excel in, whether they're attacker type, a HP aggressor, a defender type, whatever, making sure that their gems are just tip top. I'm not sure how much broken sets or full sets affect this, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding. the proof is in the pudding. But let's go ahead and do this now. Now, in the beginning, I absolutely failed this like the first time World Boss came out because I had no idea what the hell was going on. When those little things would pop up on the screen, I would tap it immediately after it popped up. So when the last one went away, I would just tap where the last one was at and just instantly lose. But I do believe it's like a 10% increase in damage if you get everything right. So it's not a big increase, but I mean, over time, it could get you a couple points or, you know, a couple places higher than other people. Alright, so the weak points will pop up and you have to just hit them in order after they pop up and after the last one's done, which there's only 5 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. I'm not that quick because I'm playing on my widescreen monitor and my MSL is like almost freaking 1920 by 1080, so my screen is absolutely huge. So I'm 99% sure you can do this a lot quicker and a lot more efficient on your cell phone, but I am lazy. It is what it is. But here we can see the ranking. So my Gatito is on a full ruin set with max crit just about. Kraken's on a decent set. So is Fibian. All your top mons tells you essentially how to gem the other mons. Basically. I mean, I'm not saying for sure, but your top mons do a good job of describing where you're doing things right at, and then your bottom ones, which are mainly healers because, you know, we kind of do our healers dirty anyways. They're the ones that I would just maybe take off and just trying to put more DPS in there, because there's a 99% higher probability that you geared your DPS up more than your healers, because the DPS will actually die. Versus what healers fight, they normally don't die, or if they do die, everyone else is already dead anyways, so it doesn't really matter at all. So it's normally DPS that should score pretty high if they are gemmed well, but that's pretty much World Boss. I'm going to go ahead and do these. I know this video probably didn't help much, but I felt like it was a good intro, and I had to help you guys out, at least hopefully provide a little bit more information to what's going on here, and I'm sure other people will leave great tips on this video. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.